Start. Hare Krishna. Om Adhyanatimidandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishnapristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Nami Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण. So we have been yesterday discussing how uh, these agitations by the senses, although that is the cause of biggest trouble for us in our life, but we have to tolerate them till what time? Till the end of this life we have to keep on tolerating them. So but a devotee can tolerate them by delighting inwards. One has to become centripetal, right? We have to delight inwards and not outwards, because we have to delight ourselves on a spiritual platform. And then we discuss what is the sadhana, what is the qualities required for such a Brahma Bhuta personality, or such a personality who is uh, yeah, be free from dualities, Kshira Kalmashaha, freedom, free of all contaminations, and then engage in others' welfare, all that. Nitatmana, engage in service. So these are the qualities. But Krishna says that one will attain very soon. So one who is engaged in such type of activities, spiritual activities, very soon he will attain the perfection of life. We should not worry. So especially we discussed that by Bhakti Yoga, the attainment of Krishna consciousness become faster than other processes. It is more easier. So and then Krishna also introduces Ashtanga Yoga in that, in these particular verses. So this ends the third section of this chapter, fifth chapter, and the fourth section has only one verse, that is peace formula. So please recite.
भोक्ताराम यज्ञ तपसाम सर्वलोका महेश्वरम सुहृदं सर्वभूतानां ज्ञात्वा मां शान्तिरिच्छति. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate benefactor of all sacrifices and austerities, the Supreme Lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. Purport. The conditioned souls within the clutches of the illusory energy are all anxious to attain peace in the material world, but they do not know the formula for peace, which is explained in this part of Bhagavad Gita. The greatest peace formula is simply this: Lord Krishna is the beneficiary in all human activities. Men should offer everything to the transcendental service of the Lord, because He is the proprietor of all planets and the demigods thereon. No one is greater than He. He is greater than the greatest of demigods, Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. In the Vedas, Shvetashvatar Upanishad 6.7, the Supreme Lord is described as Tam Ishwaranam Paramam Maheshwaram. Under the spell of illusion, living entities are trying to be lords of all they survey, but actually they are dominated by the material energy of the Lord. The Lord is the master of material nature, and the conditioned souls are under the stringent rules of material nature. Unless one understands these bare facts, it is not possible to achieve peace in the world, either individually or collectively. This is the sense of Krishna consciousness. of Krishna is the supreme predominator. All living entities, including the great demigods, are his subordinates. One can attain perfect peace only in complete Krishna consciousness. The fifth chapter is practical explanation of Krishna consciousness, generally known as Karma Yoga. The question of mental speculation as how Karma Yoga can give liberation is answered herewith. To work in Krishna consciousness is to work with the complete knowledge of the Lord as a predominator. Such work is not different from the transcendental knowledge. Direct Krishna consciousness is Bhakti Yoga. Jnana Yoga is the path leading to Bhakti Yoga. Krishna consciousness means to work in full knowledge of one's relationship with the Supreme Absolute. And the perfection of this Krishna consciousness is full knowledge of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A pure soul is the eternal servant of God, and is fragmental part and parcel. He comes in contact with Maya due to the desire to lord it over. Maya, that is the cause of and that is the cause of his many sufferings. As long as he is in contact with matter, he has to execute work in terms of material necessities. Krishna consciousness, however, brings one into spiritual life even while one is within the jurisdiction of matter. For it is an arising spiritual existence by practice in the material world. The more one is advanced, the more he is freed from the clutches of matter. The Lord is not partial towards anyone. Everything depends on one's practical performance of duties in Krishna consciousness, which helps one control the senses in every respect and conquer the influence of desire and anger. And one who stands fast in Krishna consciousness, controlling the above mentioned passions, remain actually in the transcendental stage or Brahma Nirvana. The Eightfold Yoga mysticism is automatically practiced in Krishna consciousness because the ultimate purpose is served. There is a gradual process of elevation in the practice of yam, niyam, asana, pranayam, pratyahar, dharan, dhyan, and samadhi. But these only preface perfection by devotional service, which alone can award peace to the human being. It is the highest perfection of life. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport to the fifth chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of karma yoga or action in Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, so the theme of this particular verse is that Krishna is telling Arjun that how he can remain peaceful on any place, even on a battlefield. Can anybody remain peaceful on battlefield? But Krishna is giving formula to Arjun that how can one remain peaceful even in battlefield by this understanding Krishna's supremacy and acting accordingly. So if somebody can remain peaceful on battlefield means what? He can remain peaceful anywhere in the whole creation, right? So what is this peace formula? Bhoktaram yajna tapasam, you know, the beneficiary. So beneficiary of all sacrifices and penances. So whatever penances, sacrifices one is done, or any activity basically person is doing, so that should be offered to Krishna. Krishna is the ultimate enjoyer. It is meant for Krishna's enjoyment. So that's why everything should be offered to Krishna's service. Sarva Loka Maheshwaram, the supreme proprietor of all planets and demigods. So Krishna is supreme enjoyer, Bhokta, also supreme proprietor. Because one who is a proprietor, he can only be enjoyer, right? Just like if you are building a building, Prabhupada is to say, just because you have built a building doesn't mean that building belongs to you. You have worked so hard. Suppose Mistri comes or a person comes and he says, "Oh, I have worked so hard to make this building. So now ye mera ho gaya." Is it all right? No. It belongs to whom? Owner. One who has given money, one who has given. So you may take your salary, but you cannot claim the building for your own just because you have worked hard. Similarly, although the person may work very hard for in his day-to-day life, but still the results of all his activities are actually meant for Krishna's enjoyment. Why? Why they are meant for Krishna's enjoyment? Because he is the proprietor of everything. Like for example, somebody may be farming. So how Krishna is the enjoyer of all the products of his farm? How we can say that Krishna is the enjoyer of all the results of his farm.
Krishna is giving sun and moonlight, rain.
Rain.
So by that the crop grows.
Yeah. So, in fact, the fertility of the ground is created by Krishna. That is wife of Krishna, Bhudevi, isn't it? Then there is sunlight, moonlight. We are not producing sunlight, moonlight, rains. And that is given by Lord. So similarly, the seed, the potency to germinate in the seed is given by the Lord, isn't it? Then the capacity to work is given by the Lord. Just imagine tomorrow Lord gives a person paralysis. Can he work? He cannot work, isn't it? So in this way, everything is actually offered by the Lord. The living entity is only gathering things together and making some manipulations. So that's why, because it is the property of Lord, everything, so it belongs to Lord and it should be offered for the Lord's service. So everything, whatever we are doing, whether it may be personal work or humanitarian work or nationalistic work, everything should be offered for the Lord as a service to Lord. So also, Lord is the supreme proprietor of planets and demigods. Tam Ishwaranam Paramam Maheshwaram. He is Ishwar of all Maheshwaras. Means all other. Ishwara means controller. Controller. So he is the controller of all controllers. So there may be some people who may be Ishwaras. Prabhupada used to say that even an ant is also an Ishwara. Isn't it? How? Well, it's Ishwara of its own anthill. He has some control of its own anthill. But how much is its influence? One even child can take a horse pipe and put all the water into its hill and gone. Its all control is gone. Similarly, we may be considered to be Ishvara of our own voice or our own department. But then above us there are bigger Ishwaras. And this way if we go, at last there is Param Maheshwara. Who is that? Is Krishna. Prabhupada? Krishna. Krishna is the ultimate Ishwar. Of course, Prabhupada may control Krishna also by his love. So that way answer is correct. But that is rasa level now. Not on tattva level is different. Rasa level maybe it is true. But yeah, so that's how we see that different levels of Ishwaras are there. But Krishna is Param Maheshwara. That's why Lord's name is Maheshwar. Very Lord Shiva is referred to as Maheshwar. But even Krishna is greater than Lord Shiva also, greater than all the greatest of demigods. So, although the living entity may be trying to lord it over material nature, every living entity is trying. The ant is also trying to lord it over material nature, and Brahma is also trying to lord it over material nature. But actually, none of them are the lords of material nature. It is only Supreme Lord Krishna who is the only lord of material nature, and nobody else. So, even about demigods also. So we see that even all the demigods, they are always under the subordination of Krishna. So among the demigods also there are different levels. There are some very powerful demigods and there are less powerful demigods. So these Vidyadharas, Gandharvas, Charanas, they are considered to be less powerful demigods. But above them there are bigger demigods, especially these Ashtadikpalas. Ashtadikpalas.
Directions of the 8 directions.
In charges for that. So there is Agni. I'll try to recollect. Agni. So how can you prove that Krishna is superior to Agni also?
Upastam. Lord Krishna.
Davanalpan.
He drinks away Agni. He takes away Agni. He drinks all the Agni also. Okay. During Khandaprastha, Agni Deva went to Krishna and said, I am getting so much of indigestion, please help me. Because people keep on offering out of ghee. So Krishna he also sought Krishna's help. So Agni and then Vayu. Vayu is also, Krishna is superior to Vayu also.
Varun. Why? Because the soul cannot be withered by no social tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah. Any other?
Prabhuji, for Vayu, can we also see from Dhruva Maharaj's pastime like he has conquered the whole Vayu of the earth and then being a pure devotee, and after that Lord's mercy he has given them.
He also, Dhruva Maharaj held whole Vayu in his this thing. He controlled his breath and he could not breathe ahead. Very good example. you know, Dhruv- yeah, Hanuman is also Vayuputra, is servant of Lord. So Dhruva Maharaj times what happened? He controlled his breath. He did not breathe, and because of that, the entire Vayu of the whole earth got captured like that. And then third one, Varuna. So Varuna,
Krishna released Maharaj.
Nanda Maharaj. So that time what Varun did? Varun did?
Paid all the senses to
Yeah,
Krishna.
when Krishna went to rescue Nanda Maharaj from Varuna, because Nanda Maharaj had this Varun Dev had servant had captured Nanda Maharaj because he was taking bath too early. Jaldi utke ja. So that time there was no alarm clock, so he got up too early.
Prabhuji, even at the pastime of Lord Ram, when Samudra Dev was creating troubles
Yeah,
for
Varun Dev is
making
one
the
of the
pull.
subdivision servants of Varun Dev, we can say. Varun Dev is in charge for all the water reservoirs. Correct. Samudra Dev also. So then when Krishna went to Varun Dev's abode, that time Krishna was seeing that Nanda Maharaj was very nicely sitting in one nice throne, bedecked with jewels. So because as soon as this Varuna's servant, they brought Varun Dev chastised servants, he said, "Arey, what foolish person you are, whom you have captured? You have captured Krishna's father." No, but they were taking bath early. Arey, fool, he may do anything. He is Krishna's father. He can do anything in the world. He is beyond all the laws. And then he gave full nice reception to Nanda Maharaj. And Nanda Maharaj was surprised that what is this? His servants are dragging me other side. This their master is like giving me such a big reception. And then when Krishna Balram came, immediately Varun Dev got up and he worshipped and he offered obeisances and he immediately returned. And when Nanda Maharaj returned back to Vrindavan, he was telling all his friends, "Do you know? I had gone to some different abode. One very nice person was there, very rich. This kind of richness you cannot see on the earth. And there was some big demigod sitting there. And most amazing thing is that when our Krishna came, they started worshipping Krishna. So how wonderful is our Krishna? Just see, there also this big person is also worshipping. Still, he did not think that Krishna must be God or something. He thought that he is just a wonderful child. So Varun Dev also feels like serving this child. Right. And then Indra. So Indra, so many pastimes. Govardhan Leela, then rescuing this Parijata tree episode, so many. Of course, Indra is among Ashtadikpalas as far as I know. Okay. Anyways, then we see, but these are in general considered to be very powerful demigods. And
Moon
then
also,
there's
Prabhuji.
Shiva. Lord Shiva is considered to be also one of the most powerful demigods. Isn't it? So Kubera,
also
Kubera is one. Kubera is also one of the most powerful demigods.
But he
Yaksha, but he is a master of Yaksha. So he is considered to be very powerful also. And Yamraj, these are another two very powerful. So any pastime, Kubera's is the treasurer of demigods.
once Yakshas were playing in this, I think, where lotus is low. That time Bhima went and fought.
Whatever. I also don't remember exactly. Maybe something pastime. Of course, Kubera's reference comes in Dhruva Maharaj pastime again. Dhruva Maharaj instructions. Anyways,
Prabhuji, Kubera's
Yamraj,
wealth was conquered by Ravana. Kubera's kingdom was conquered by like Hiranyakashipu and other demons like Ravana, and then Lord has Hiranyakashipu has conquered Prabhuji all the demigods, even Kubera's kingdom also, and then Lord has has
perfect.
taken away from them.
He is telling that Hiranyakashipu had also captured even the kingdom of Kubera and all others. Alkapuri is the abode of Kubera. And what is the abode of Varuna? Varuna's abode is called as Vibhavari. Vibhavari is abode of Varuna. And Kubera's abode is Alkapuri, but that was also captured by Hiranyakashipu, but they killed. And Yamraj, Ashamilar case, okay. You know, Yamraj was cursed by Mandukya Rishi. Okay. Any other?
Lord brought Guru's children.
Yes, he brought Guru's children from abode of Yamraj, right? You know. So that time also Yamraj worshipped Krishna. So what is the abode of Yamraj? Samya Manipuri is the abode of Yamraj. So then among them you see that Shiva and Brahma are considered topmost of all demigods. So, but Lord Shiva also, any example? Okay, he got bewildered by Mohini Murti. Very interesting pastime if you read that. Quite interesting. Any other?
To a Brahmana, he has given a boon that to whomsoever had he keep his hand, that person will be destroyed. And then that Brahmana was trying on the Lord Shiva only, and then he started. Lord Shiva was traveling for
demon, Bhasmasur or Rukasur. You know, it was a demon named Rukasur. You know, so like finally he started running after him only, Lord Shiva only, to kill him. And Lord Shiva had to take shelter of Lord Krishna. Banasur episode, that is a classic example. There was a fight between these two. You know, Krishna and Shiva, on and on fight was there. There was Narayan Jwar and Shiva Jwar. So this there was a face-to-face fight, and ultimately Narayan Jwar defeated Shiva Jwar, and then Lord Shiva, Krishna released the weapon by which Lord Shiva simply kept on yawning. He couldn't do anything else. Then finally surrendered to Krishna.
Arjuna defeated Lord Shiva to win that.
Okay, Arjuna also almost defeated, you can say, correct. And Bhrigu Muni pastime also shows, correct. You know? And he is telling which one? Kashiraj pastime also. He couldn't save. Ravan and Kashiraj, you know, both of them, you know, he couldn't save. Correct. So that is about Shiva. And what about Brahma? Brahma Vimodi, very famous. Isn't it? So in this way, we can quote, actually, these are pastimes, but any verses you can quote because people will ask, you know. Another one is very famous, another two are remaining. Ganpati. So what verse you can quote?
From Brahma Samhita there is
यत्पादपल्लवयुगं विनिधाय द्वन्द्वे प्रणाम समये स गणाधिराजा विज्ञान विहन्तुम् अलमस्य जगत्त्रयस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं
very nicely. Yeah, that is about Ganpati, because these verses we should know very clearly. Then for Durga, okay, Mama. Any other verses about Durga?
मया ध्यक्षेण प्रकृति
Maya Dhakshena Prakriti, you know.
सूयते सचरात्.
Correct. Maya Dhaksha, you know. Kali Devi is protecting Bharat Maharaj because she is devotee of Lord. Any other verse? सृष्टि स्थिति प्रलय साधन शक्ति रेखा छाये वयस्य भुवनानि विभर्ति दुर्गा इच्छानुरूप अपि यस्य चेष्टते स गोविंदो. Then for Lord Shiva, yeah, which one? Shiram tatha didivikara vishesha yoga sanjaya tata pratagasti heto yash shambhutam tatha samupaiti karya govinda mahapurusha. Yeah, Brahma Samhita was there. Similarly for Brahma,
Brahma himself is
but for Brahma also verse is there, na?
Ishwaram Param Krishna.
Huh?
Ishwaram Param Krishna Satchidanand Vigraham.
Yeah. But specifically verse mentioning about Brahma being subordinate. The verse. Of course, there is whole Brahma's prayers are there. Naumidyate Brahma Pushe Tadidambaraya.
Brahma Bhuvanar Loka.
Okay, abode of Brahma is also equal. Abode of Brahma. To know only past time.
Actually, one shloka is Yam Brahma.
Yan Brahma Varunendra, that part proper quoted. Okay, no, that is the, yeah, Yan Brahma Varunendra Marutair Tunvanti Yat, something like that verse comes. Also now, what is that verse? Jagadanda Natha. How it begins? But how it begins? Yasya Prabha Prabhavato Jagadanda Koti Koti Shvashesha Vasudhadi Vivanti Viman. That is about Brahman effulgence. Brahman. No, that is about Brahman effulgence. This verse. Jagadanda Natha.
Brahma appeared from heaven of Vishnu.
Okay. Yeah, that is also. But what is the verse about Jagadanda Natha? It contains Jagadanda Natha verse. Jagadanda Natha is Brahma. Of course, yeah. If you can search in Brahma Samhita, it will be nice that verse. Then for Indra, which verse? Okay, Indrari Vakulam Lokam. Krishna comes to rescue Indra. Yastvindra Gopa Mathavendra Mahosa Karva Bandharu Nurupa Phalabhajana Matanoti. Karmani Nirdhati Kintuja Bhakti Vaja. Okay, Indra is also under this thing, purchase of wisdom. We found a verse for Brahma, Jagadanda Natha. And Jivanti Loma Vijayalaja Jagadanda Natha. How it begins, but
Yes, sir.
yes, say Kanishwa Kala Yatha Lambya. Jivanti Loma. Pradam Kala said. Akashwani. Devotees thought Akashwani came. Yes, say Kanishwa Sita Kala Matha Lambya. Jivanti Loma Vijayalaja Jagadanda Natha. Correct. So these are the verses we should know. Of course, so Brahma Samhita is all verses about Vishnu also, about Brahman also. For everything there is verse in Bhagavad Gita. So from that, basically, whole point is that we can understand how Krishna is the supreme master and lord of all, and he is dominator of everyone. And then Suradam Sarva Bhutanam is the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities. So this 5th chapter is basically the practice. So in the beginning, Krishna is this thing. Krishna is just Prabhupada in the purport. He is just giving in the beginning purport for this verse, and then at the end he summarizes entire 5th chapter, 2nd paragraph of the purport. So we see that Krishna here he is mentioning these three aspects. So karma yogis, they do what? Yajnas, correct? So Krishna says, I am the beneficiary of all that yajnas. I am this, so I am the one who should be enjoying all the sacrifices. So from karma kanda to karma yoga, all the sacrifices Krishna should be enjoying and he should get benefited. Then Jnana yogis, what they do? Tapasya, correct? So Krishna says, I am the object of tapasya also. So he is supposed to be worshipped through tapasya. Then yogis, what they do? Meditate on Paramatma. So one should understand that Krishna is the friend, is that same Paramatma whom yogis are meditating, and he is the heart-to-heart friend of everyone because he is the super soul. In this way, the supreme super soul is such a super personality, such a friend that he accompanies every living entity from body to body. He never leaves the living entity. So that's why Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he says that Krishna is the most well-wishing friend of all living entities. So, and how he is yeah, there are 33. Actually, there are 33 types of demigods only, one sense, but 33 their followers. There are 33 categories. That is also correct. So 33 crore demigods or 33 types of demigods. Who with their 1 crore followers each. Both are correct. So, so yogis, So Vishwacharya Thakur is telling Krishna is the most well-wishing friend of all living beings. Why? Because he is bestowing the mercy of devotional service on every living entity. He is giving the devotional service through his devotees to each and every living entities, and he is giving personally the instructions through Bhagavad Gita, to the living entities. That's why he is considered to be most well-wishing friend. So, when we understand this, that Krishna is the beneficiary for all the Gyanis, Karmis, Karmakandis, and Karma Yogis, and Jnana Yogis, and Ashtanga Yogis, and also of the devotees, then one understands that Krishna is the well-wisher friend, and only he is the person who can uplift us to the platform of peace. How? By liberating us from this material platform. He is the one who is bringing us to the platform of peace, real peace. So Prabhupada, he gave one lecture in 1968 in which he says like this: Krishna is always our eternal natural friend. That is stated in Bhagavad Gita. Surudam sarva bhutanam. Surudam means surut. There are different names in Sanskrit for different kinds of friends. One friend is called as Bandhu, another one is called as Mitra, and one is called as Surut. So Krishna says, I am Surut, which means such a friend. A friend seriously wants your happiness. A Surut is a real friend. And Mitra is a social friendship. Bandhu is an official friendship. But Surut means one who actually desires good for his friend. Sincere friend. Who is that such a sincere friend? Krishna is that sincere friend. Krishna is Surut. He is always wishing my good. And he is therefore canvassing me. Please, you surrender unto me. Just like a father says, my dear boy, why are you acting independently? Foolishly you are suffering. Just surrender unto me. I shall give you protection. Similarly, Krishna is a friend like a father. He is always asking, and he is going with me in every type of body. Even if I get the body of dog, Krishna is always there with me. Even with cats, dogs, hogs, or any other lower type of animal, he has no hesitation. And is so friendly that wherever his friend is going, he is also going there. As Paramatma, he is doing friendly activities. He is sending his bona fide servant as spiritual master. He is coming as incarnations, and he is coming as a devotee, Lord Chaitanya. He is helping us in so many ways. But we are so foolish that we are not accepting him. Nobody can be a better friend than Krishna. But we are so unfortunate, so much captivated by the external energy that we don't accept Krishna as our friend. This is lecture of Srila Prabhupada, which he gave in October 14, 1968 in Seattle. So, this knowledge that we are eternal part souls, or renunciation or sense control, these things cannot actually bring us liberation. This cannot be us actually happiness and actually peace. Only when you understand that Krishna is my dearmost friend, there is no better friend to me than Krishna, then actually we can come to the platform of real peace. So we see that the friend is the one, his quality, as Prabhupada explains in this verse, is that he is our genuine well-wisher. Like for example, suppose a friend is asking, there are two friends. One is, means one person is there, one boy is there, his friend is telling that let's go to watch a movie. Today is Friday, new movie is released, in the talkies, let us go and see the movie. And father is saying, hey, don't go, tomorrow your exam is there, don't go. So sometimes the child may think, oh, what is this father, he doesn't know, he always restricts me from everything, he is not my friend. And he may think that this friend who is taking him to movie, he is a friend. But actually, who is a friend? Father is a friend, because father knows that this is not good for him. So the person who actually wishes good for us is a real friend, not just one who gives us sense gratification. Unfortunately, in material world, who gives us sense gratification, that person is considered to be friend. And that's why as soon as the sense gratification is stopped, the friendship is also stopped. That's how the relationship in material world act. But real friend means the friend in need is a friend indeed. One who helps us in greatest need. And who helps us in greatest need? That is Krishna only. Especially the greatest need is when? At the time of death. That time nobody can help us. Only people will cry surrounding us. But then Krishna is the one who can help us at any time. So in this way, that Krishna's friendship, if that is recognized by a person, that will be great amount of shelter for him. Because Krishna is such a friend, he doesn't only remain with us only for this life. He comes with us life after life. Even if we become worm in the stool, still Krishna doesn't abandon us. Is there any such friend in this creation? Tell me. Do you have any such friend who will never abandon you? No. Friends are there till the time, at the max, till the time this body is there. Even till the time this body is there, also many friends keep changing. How many of our first standard friends we are still having? How many of your 11, 12 standards we are still having? How many of our college friends now still we are able to have? Isn't it? At the end of life, how many of our voice friends we will have? Don't know, isn't it? But who is there always with us? That is Krishna. So that's why Krishna is considered to be, he is not only well-wishing, even we reject him. That is the friendship of Krishna. Although we reject him, we become envious of him, we rebel against him, still he never leaves us. So we only can evaluate who is our best friend. We may consider that is my friend, that is my friend. आजकल बहुत सारे friend request आते हैं ना, मुझे भी आते हैं email में friend request. कोई तो वो Facebook में रहता है क्या? Friend request आते हैं. But Krishna is requesting friendships in so many lifetimes. Krishna is sending us friend request. Arey, become my friend, Baba. I am your real friend. I am coming with you every lifetime. I am always with you, but you are not wanting to make friendship with me. That's what Prabhupada is telling in this lecture also. So Krishna is giving so many friend requests, but we are rejecting. So it is a matter of thinking actually. Who is my best friend? Isn't it Krishna my best friend? Because he always comes. And although I have been rejecting him, I never accepted his friend request. Still Krishna has not left me. Still he is there with me. And not only is there with me, he is providing also for me everything. He is sanctioning my desire. He doesn't say, Acha, so these so many lifetimes you have been rejecting me. No more. Nothing for you. No food. No air for you to breathe. Remain like this. Has Krishna done that? So we can understand what kind of characteristics. Krishna is well-wishing. Krishna is very kind-hearted. Krishna is always accompanying us. So all these things, and not only that, Krishna gives us the ways by which we can be liberated from this eternally from cycle of birth and death, and he is ready to accept us back when we go. He doesn't say that we, tum chhod ke gaye, jao abhi, remain in material world, never come to me. I cannot take you. So in this way we can see these are only few things. If you think further, we will be really so much. We'll cry tears if we understand how much Krishna is friend with us. What kind of friendship Krishna is showing. Even as a devotee also we may commit so many mistakes, this and that. But Krishna is so merciful. He has not given us up ever till now. So even Krishna doesn't give us even the atheist also, who denies Krishna's presence also. That is the friendship of Krishna. Who can be better friend than Krishna in our life? So if we can simply recognize and turn ourselves towards Krishna, our life will become successful actually, and we can have eternal joy. So in the second part of purport of this, Prabhupada says that this fifth chapter is the practical application of Krishna consciousness. That is called as Karma Yoga. So Prabhupada said it is Karma Yoga is a practical application. So what is Karma Yoga? This is now summary of entire fifth chapter. Karma Yoga means action in full knowledge. To work in Krishna consciousness means to work in full knowledge that the Lord is the predominator. So whenever we are doing any activity, if we are in this full knowledge that Krishna is the predominator, Krishna is the master, or Krishna is the beneficiary of all that work, that means we are acting in Krishna consciousness. And such work, Prabhupada, is not different than transcendental knowledge. So what results the Gyanis get by cultivating knowledge with lot of their efforts, same knowledge, same platform, same result, Karma Yogi can get by acting in Krishna consciousness, by acting in understanding that Krishna is the supreme master and enjoyer of everything. So, but Prabhupada says that direct Krishna consciousness is Bhakti Yoga, and all other paths are paths leading to Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is a direct Krishna consciousness. All others are indirectly leading to Bhakti Yoga. So, and then Prabhupada is also recollecting that pure soul is the eternal servant of Lord as fragmental part and parcel. And the cause of suffering is forgetting this fact that I am part and parcel of Lord. and because of that one falls into illusion. When one forgets this, Krishna bolia जीव भोगवांछा काय करे निकटस्थ माया तारे झपटिया तारे. When living entity forgets that I am Krishna's, I am servant of Krishna, then living entity falls into illusion. And what he does in the illusion, he thinks that he is the master of all his service around. He is the doer, he is the master, he is the enjoyer. And then what is the result of that? Maya Devi gives him a lot of punishment. Atayava Maya Tare, Krishna Bhuli Jai, Anadi Bahirmukha, Atayava Maya Tare, Dehi Samsara Dukha. The living entity becomes since time immemorial, living entity becomes Bahirmukha, means averse towards Krishna. So that's why Atayava Maya Tare, Dehi Samsara Dukha. That's why Maya Devi keeps on torturing him. So the reason why the living entity suffers is because he has become Bahirmukh to Krishna. Why he has become Bahirmukh to Krishna? Because he has forgotten his position as servant of Krishna and fallen into illusion that I am the master, I am the enjoyer. So Prabhupada says, but Krishna consciousness is so nice that everyone, it is imperative. Now we are in the material world, so that's a reality. We cannot say that we cannot immediately go to spiritual world even after understanding that. But then, so everybody has to do some work in material world. But Krishna consciousness is so nice that even while remaining within material world, we can act in Krishna consciousness. Even while doing our work, maybe as a teacher, maybe as a householder, maybe as a student, maybe as an employee, or whatever, whatever may be our work. While doing that, we can be Krishna conscious and we can attain perfection of life. That is the beauty of this process of Karma Yoga, that one doesn't have to wait, till one becomes completely purified. One can directly engage oneself in the service of the Lord, even while remaining within material world. So, and one can transcend the jurisdiction of matter. So now, then Prabhupada is telling next part of purport that Lord is not partial to anyone, but reciprocates according to your approach. More one is advanced, more one is freed from Maya. To a degree, one is advanced in Krishna consciousness. To that degree, he is freed from Maya. But what is a factor which determines how much one is Krishna conscious? Controlling the senses? Not exactly.
Person who has less detachment or less attachment to this material.
Person who is less attachment to this material world. Okay. What Prabhupada is writing here? What it depends on? Our advancement depends on what in Krishna consciousness?
Performance of duties.
Performance of duties in Krishna consciousness. To the degree we sincerely perform our duties in Krishna consciousness, to that degree, what will happen? One will be Krishna conscious himself. To that degree, he will be free from clutches of Maya. So, what do you mean by duties in Krishna consciousness?
Sir, devotional
Means what? Some examples. Morning program.
serving Lord by the public
Chanting, very important duty. What else? Reading, hearing.
book distribution.
Services allotted to us. Okay, services allotted to us. But, yeah, so these are the duties. 4 regulative principles following. So these are all our duties in Krishna consciousness. To the degree we do these duties seriously, to that degree we can become Krishna conscious. And then to that degree, so in fact by following these duties only, it can help us to control the senses and the influence of desire and anger. So what remains the fundamental factor for all these things? Liberation and becoming Krishna conscious? Doing our duties in Krishna consciousness very nicely. That's a fundamental factor. By that, we'll become free from desire and anger. We'll become free from we will be able to control senses. We'll be able to be Krishna conscious. We'll be free from clutches of Maya. All these things will follow. By this one thing, by performing our duties in Krishna consciousness very seriously. And then what happens? Eventually, one will attain the transcendental stage of Brahma Nirvana. And again, at the end of the purport, Prabhupada again discredits this next chapter, Ashtanga Yoga. Still, Ashtanga Yoga is also leading to the same thing, but it's a very slow and it's a gradual process. Whereas these things can be attained by devotional service very easily. the only conclusion is that by only devotional service one can get peace in one's life. So because this chapter was so, this particular verse was very important, because whole world is looking after peace, but they don't know what is the formula for peace. Krishna has given this peace formula to us. So they don't know how to attain peace actually. So these are the three, this thing: understanding Krishna to be enjoyer, proprietor, enjoyer of all activities, proprietor, and a friend. If you understand these three things, we can get supreme peace, like that. Actually, in my own life also, I really attain peace many times by this. Sometimes some boys, they don't properly react. When we preach to them, then we have to understand Krishna is their best friend. We will become peaceful also. Otherwise, our mind becomes agitated. अरे मेरा फोन नहीं उठाता है, isn't it? ये क्या है? इतना प्रोग्राम को बुलाया आता नहीं है. So we have to understand Krishna is his best friend. Not I. I am trying. I'll try from my best, but Krishna is the one who is everybody's best friend. In this way, we can become actually perfect. So, in brief, I will tell about the glories of this 5th chapter. So, there was one place in South India. So, that place was named as Purukutsakur. So, this Purukutsa, who is Purukutsa? Purukutsa is one of the ancestor of Ram or Krishna, either of them. I just forgot. In 9th canto, this Purukutsa come. As far as I know, it's a Krishna's ancestor only. So there, one Brahmana was there. His name was Pingar. Pingar named Brahmana was there. So he was as such given very good training in his childhood by his, parents and all that. He was given a lot of. He was, given all Brahmanical activities and Vedas and all taught, but he was not interested. He was more interested in singing, not Hare Krishna. Singing some songs, dancing and drama and all those things. So eventually, he learned that, and because he was a Brahmana is very intelligent, so he became very expert in these things. And then what happened? He was put into he was very expert, so invited to the court of king, and there he was given a post, and he started enjoying a lot into that king's court. Eventually, because what happens, the royal opulences, they intoxicate a person. So this fellow, and he had given up the studies of Vedas and all that, so he became very intoxicated by all this opulences and all he was getting, and then eventually started having illicit affairs with other people's wives, and started enjoying everything everywhere, like that. And he got married also to one woman who was also low class woman. So and this woman also, she also had another affairs. This Brahmana, and this Brahman, he was not Brahman, was from low class. In this way, both husband and wife had different affairs also, apart from with this thing, having their own partners. So one day, this Brahmana, he came to know about this woman, his wife, having a lot of extramarital affairs. So he became very angry. But then when she came to know, she plotted and killed him with the help of her friends, paramours, and she buried him in the garden. And then this fellow, he was sent to Yamaraj, and he suffered in hell. Who? This Brahman Pingar. He was sent to Yamaraj and he suffered in hell for long years. And eventually, this woman also died, and she also went into hell, because she was also like that only. So she also went into hell, and she also suffered separately, not in together. She also suffered her own punishments of hell. Then after the hellish punishments, what happens after hell? Person again comes back and takes some birth somewhere, not necessarily human birth. Some birth he takes. So then he took birth as vulture, his finger, and his wife took birth as a parrot. And they were separately living, means not knowing. But one day, this parrot, his wife, she was trying to search for some food, and she came across this vulture. And that this fellow, he remembered, she was my wife in last life, and she was the one who caused my killing. So what he did, he attacked her and killed her. Means as a parrot. That vulture, Pinga in the form of vulture, he attacked and killed. And then she fell into the skull of, in the water. In skull, some water was there. So that parrot fell into that skull and died. And at the same time, one hunter came and killed this vulture also. And he also fell into that skull in that water and he also died. And then they both were taken to Yamraj again for the next term. Abhi kidhar jana hai next? So Yamaraj said, okay, you can go back to Godhead. And they both were shocked. How is it we are so sinful? They are remembering now all their past. Kya kya gadbad kiya humne. They said, we are so sinful. Can we know how you are sending us back to Godhead? So that time he said that actually the skull in which you fell, that was the skull of the one devotee. His name was Vat. So he was staying on the bank of Ganges and he used to recite every day this 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So because of reciting 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, he went back to Godhead, to Vaikuntha planets. And his skull remained like that because he was burnt. His body was burnt after his death. So his skull remained like that. And in that skull, you both fell. Because of that, you became so purified that all your sinful reactions are over. Now Vaikuntha airplane is waiting for you. You can go. And in this way, they both were taken back to Godhead in the flower aeroplane sent by. So amazing, right? We should not think this is to be hyperbole. कि ज़्यादा exaggeration नहीं है. Actually, these are the potencies of these verses. It is our misfortune that we may sometimes take them very cheaply. And actually, these verses, each verse of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, they are not different than Krishna. We have to understand that each of these verses are Krishna himself. Bhagavad Gita is Krishna's incarnation. Bhagavatam is Krishna's incarnation. They are not different than Krishna, so it is no wonder. Somebody comes in direct contact with Krishna. Is it so difficult for Krishna to take him back to Godhead? No. How much time will Krishna take him back to Godhead? Less than a second also, right? Krishna just says, let your sinful reactions be finished. Finished. That's it, because he's the ultimate master. He can finish off any sin. Can go. So that is glory of this particular chapter. So we end here today. Next time we'll start with 6. Maybe we'll end because our Maharaj class will start 11 o'clock. So we'll end, and then I'll answer. But just before that, one small thing. So we know that now this year we don't have Janmashtami. We are not going to temple for Janmashtami. So we are going to celebrate in our own place also. And so your own voice, GGD, where you stayed, there also we are celebrating Janmashtami and Prabhupada Appearance Day. Both these festivals we are celebrating. So I hope you got the mail regarding writing your offerings for Srila Prabhupada. So this year we have opened for all the alumni also, writing offerings for Prabhupada. Previous years, mostly we used to keep up to voice devotees only. But this year, mostly this year, we are requesting all the alumni also to write offerings for Prabhupada. So kindly do write the offerings and give. Your offerings will be put into the Vyas Puja book. We offer to Prabhupada and the Prabhupada Vyas Puja day. And also there will be some broadcasting will do. Yeah, so broadcast also will do. And you can participate in Prabhupada Vyas Puja. Similarly, if any one of you want to do some service for Lord, we are going to cook 108 bhogas on the day of Prabhupada Vyas Puja and 56 bhogas on the day of Janmashtami. So if you want to do service, you can ask our Nayan Prabhu. You can ask him and you can help him some services in that regards. Okay, so we end here because His Holiness Prabodhanand Saraswati Maharaj's Sunday feast class is there now. So we can end today for today. So we are ending today for little early. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Jai Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki Srila Prabhupada. Jai. So next week we'll start with 6th chapter. Saurabh, I am able to see you.
Jai.
आपने बहुत पतला कर दिया है. poor fellow. He's overloaded with so much of college work.
Uh,
You can feed him good rice. So Abhishek bro को अच्छा खासा rice खिलाओ.
yes, Prabhu. Prabhuji is feeding. No. Prabhuji के center में है Prabhuji. I'm aspiring to remain here. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. What you are asking?
We are asking that only person goes to Goloka Vrindavan, otherwise some like Krupa Siddhi ho gaya.
ये कृपा सिद्धि है.
This Krupa
He is not qualified, but
हाँ
he happened to. This is what कृपा सिद्धि का example है वो. Exactly कृपा सिद्धि. ये उन्होंने कुछ साधना किया ही नहीं, है कि नहीं? What sadhana they both did? कुछ नहीं किया. They did not even endeavor to come in contact with devotee also. उतना भी endeavor नहीं किया. But they just happened to fall into that skull. That also skull. वो भी devotee के contact में नहीं है direct.
skull is confused with your head.
But that was pure devotee skull. It became purified skull. Hari Hari. Thank you, guys.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Is it the end meeting?